Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want?
Now.
Hands up.
Black dot.
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 Hands up. Black dot. Hands up. Black dot. All right, hold on. Before it's just hold on. Come here. I want you to all of our lovely community friends exactly the conversation out of the beginning. My memory's bad. It's kind of like you, so you can like harass people and assault people and like totally forget it. So my memory's all over the place. What's the tell? Yeah.
The red, the black, the green with the key. You dig?
I don't know. My hair is going out. You might have to speak up.
Yeah, some children on the
Not this guy.
corner and he comes by asking my name, say none of your fucking business.
We might want to omit a couple of the expletives.
Well, he said a lot of expletives. So all I can say is
did he now?
Expletive.
See, that's Earl's cuts right there.
Expletive.
Yeah.
He seems reasonable.
Rather than stand on the corner with me, with my sign, join me. So what? Solidarity?
Oh, you see solidarity with us? What,
Huh?
Intimidation, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is a little bit. That's why I don't even want to pan to the crowd.
Assault women.
Like, come on, man. Oh, there's a sister. There's a sister. Toya, come over here. You look like a stranger, man.
Don't worry, I don't know if the cops are on our side at this point. Because, the last week or so, and this is a really sick part, y'all.
How you doing?
That for our history here in the United States, for black people, people of color, for, now immigrants come from all over the world,
Like Europe?
that they often use these stereotypes that we're violent. We're the ones who are quote-unquote savage. We are the ones who don't deserve to hold space and stand on this ground, stand in these communities that we have built. So they conflate us with violence. They conflate our presence with violence. And that's what they're doing down there, that being at 7-1 Coffee. But with that conversation, who do you think is violent here?
Yeah.
Who do you think is right?
They lynch. We don't lynch each other.
Right?
We don't lynch anybody.
To intimidate people. They drive by us. Last couple weeks, the cops when they were here, they didn't leave. They weren't like, oh no, we're investigating this and we'll leave you alone. No. After that, they drove past us as people were having meetings, as people were holding that space peacefully, as we enjoyed snacks and we talked in solidarity with one another. I mean, who is doing the violence here?
Cops.
Yes.
Right? Also, developers.
Terrorists.
That, right? Let's look at that over there. Let's talk about the Central. 6 stories. I don't know one of those units that's truly affordable. And like
This is what they do to our communities, y'all.
There's economic violence.
Push us out.
When
We
you
did.
forcibly push someone out of a community, when you drive them
Bullshit.
to the point of starvation, poverty wages, or no wages at all, when you deny them services.
Wait till we're gone, then develop the neighborhood.
Wondering where their next meal's going to
Some
come
bullshit.
from, and unable to raise a family.
They ran game by
Yes.
putting a different kind of meat across town to draw the people away from what this is supposed to
What do we call it?
be. We're playing
What do we call
chess.
it? Is it right?
Chess.
No.
Is it right?
No.
Is it right?
No.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Now,
What do we want?
justice.
Hands up! Whoa! Hands up!
Black dot.
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 What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Now.
So, there are a couple of sisters in there that is hoping could take over the mic in a minute because as much as I like the sound of my own voice, many
We know
of
you
you
do,
know
bro.
I do. But
We know you do,
in
bro.
reality,
It's all good.
about individuals. It's not even just about the Black Dot itself, but it's about this community.
That's right.
23rd unit.
I gotta
In fact,
tell us pretty soon.
the
What time is it?
disgusting irony of this. Does anyone know the disgusting irony of Uncle Alexina being there?
Yep.
What's the disgusting irony,
The
brother?
disgusting irony is that there's a lot of black people in prison for selling weed, and
What?
that then the
I'm sorry,
law.
I can't hear you.
There's a lot.
I got bad hearing, son. I have very bad hearing. I have very bad hearing.
Whatever, man. I got you. All right. The disgusting irony is that there's many black men in prison right now for selling dime bags of weed, and the law didn't retroactively affect that. That means if they got caught selling weed before the law changed, they're still in prison. And as we know from the 13th Amendment, being in prison makes you literally on the plantation, because that's what the prison is now.
Yes, it is.
Wait, what do they call that?
They call that a plantation. These private prisons are basically the plantation of the day. So the 13th Amendment never ratified slavery. What it did is transformed it into an actual mechanism for the state to control, and now for the private tiers who own it to control, meaning that even the corporations that we spend a lot of our money at are actually profiting off of prison labor.
What do they call that corporation?
Private prison?
The Corrections Corporation of America. Run all of them.
CCA. Matter of fact, make sure you watch the 13th. And we will be showing the 13th in Tacoma on Hilltop at the AME Church in April. So we do invite people who hear this to come out there, because it's very important that the people understand what's going on so we can combat it. You know, it's...
Yes, yes.
So the more the irony, besides just Uncle Ike's being there, slinging hundreds of thousands of pounds of weed, making this money, but they also want to shut down the institutions that we need, like this one, like the SBI down the street. You know what I'm saying? Where my mom went to school. You know, they want to shut these kind of institutions down. And what does that leave us? That leaves us without no mechanism to be able to educate and to be able to have growth and development within our economic situation.
Wait, turn up.
Yeah.
What up?
Oh, can I press this trigger? Oh, no, press
Test.
Perfect.
So on one hand, we understand that it's our responsibility to pull ourselves up from where we're at. But when you take what we need to do that,
Yeah.
and you push us out and you take the ownership, you have to understand, people don't know there's a rich history here in Seattle, in the CD. You can ask Joaquin right here. He knows better than I do. You know what I'm saying? William,
bring him up.
matter of fact, yeah, why don't you come up and
No, come on.
you know, we have over a century of history, and we're gonna bring Joaquin up. We're gonna make him come up.
Come on, man. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? We have a history here of economic development for our people, and a place to hunker down. This is where they redlined us at originally. So we took advantage of that situation. We do what we do. You know what I'm saying? We made wine out of water, whatever you want to call it. We made turn lead into gold, and we made this a community for us.
Yes.
Now, of course, maybe people want to be able to get downtown quicker. So they push us out, come in, dismantle the institution that could sustain us. And we know with the private prison system, they take the grades from our youth in elementary, and from there they determine how many prisons they want to build.
Yes.
So what better way to know that you're going to fill up a prison but to shut down schools and shut down the mechanisms and the institutions in place that would educate and empower the community.
Yo, you want to hear something even more gross about that? I was about to say, just to compliment what my brother said right here, that most states and municipalities, counties that have the corrections.
I was also just speaking. My bad. You know?
Operating private prisons that
Yeah,
have
bro.
become the plantations of today. That is in those contracts. If those prisons don't stay filled, they get sued.
That's right.
So the state has an incentive. You can Google, look it up, right? The state has an incentive to keep prisons full.
Yeah.
Now what happens these days if, let's say, if someone doesn't have as much money as him, tries to grow a little bit of pot, right? Still get fined. You walk around with it, you can still get fined, right? But how much of this money, you know, how much enterprise, how much support
Are they giving back?
Are those folks who are in prison now getting to come out and being able to start businesses like this? Any of them get small business loans? No? Really? No? Any of them getting support to be able to pursue their degrees? No? So when you get out, usually it's about, they give you $40 a bus pass and say good luck.
Right.
Right? What kind of justice is that? Is that justice?
No.
Is that justice?
No.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
You gotta say it louder. I don't think they hear you. When do we want it? When do we want it?
Now.
insult to injury. In the last in the last week, when we marched down into Madrona with all those $1 million houses, all that wealth, all that largesse, and we confronted them. We said, look, if you're going to push us out of our home, then we have a solution to that. We have justice, housing justice. And we are going to go and we're going to confront you about it, and we're not going to stop advocating for ourselves until we secure our right to exist in the city be built up.
Yes.
And then we came back up here to march to end the night peacefully. They even have the barricades up there, just ready, right? So they didn't have the barricades up that night because we went right there. We had more cops, admittedly, than ourselves. They treat us like we're the threat.
Yes.
And you had Ian Eisenberg rushing at my comrade right here, trying to put his hands on her, trying to hurt her. Right? And you had his lackeys when myself and another organizer were over there trying to threaten us.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this isn't the first time. Ian Eisenberg, but more importantly, people like the Bandgassers who changed the locks on this place while we are dealing with a community crisis. Right? That's how developers act. These are the tactics they use.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we have to stay vigilant as a community, because when they say we are anti-Semitic, when they say we are violent, when they say that we don't know what we are talking about, and they just want prosperity, all we have to say to that is, what prosperity? Who's been violent? Who has been spreading anti-black, racist, sexist behavior, rumors, culture out here?
Yeah.
Who? It wasn't me. Was any of you?
Nah.
Any of you? You? No? No? Alright? But yes, I saw them wearing those uniforms, and people have been spreading that culture. I've seen, people who have had that Midtown Properties name was in their business cards, spreading that culture.
Yeah.
So, before I go on be too long, I want to open the mic, I want to open the floor, particularly, women of color, people of color. We want to center our sisters in the struggle. We want to center the people who are most affected. But most importantly, we want to make it clear. We want to make it clear that this movement isn't going away. So, who wants to come up and speak to how
Brittany, come up.
here tonight?
Come on, Brittany.
Brittany, let's hear from Brittany. Let's hear from the queen of 2030 Union. Brittany, she got
So I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you guys for not letting the current culture of, what is going on stop you from showing out and really understanding and giving knowledge to
King in the building.
unfair treatment.
That's the strong brother right there from the strong lineage. You know what I'm saying?
And actually caring.
It's the CD's finest right here.
We
can't hear you.
Yeah, just like close to me.
Close to my mouth? You can hear me now? Okay. You can hear me now. Okay. I'm really appreciative of this. We're really trying to make moves for the future. Make room and own this block, and the community own this block for our kids. Make it clear that we're not going anywhere. We have testimonies from people who have been unfairly evicted, who've had locks and situations happen to them, and the same kind of unfair and unjust treatment going on in our community that keeps happening. We can't stop it if we don't all speak up and we don't all stand together. So we need to understand that, we have organizations that are doing good work here in this community, and the smear campaigns are not just a tactic to stop people from coming out and putting their support where it needs to be. I want you all to know that there's a place for you, no matter what organization you came from, to stand up and say what's right for the community. They shouldn't kick our elderly out. They shouldn't lie to them and tell them they can't rent places because Section 8 is not allowed. That is illegal action. And our elderly don't know any better. We need to have their backs as well as they have our backs about the fact that child care is disappearing from the central area. Jobs are disappearing. Small businesses are disappearing. We're having land grabs done by certain individuals who think that it's okay to change our neighborhood from a neighborhood to a kind of a strip district, or change the culture of what started here. 23rd Union has not always been the safest place to be, but it's always been home. I can say that I'm a product of entrepreneurship. My grandfather had a barber shop up in Madison Park. We have always been a part of this community. I grew up on 27th between Olive and Howe. And my family is big. We all have ties to this community. We all have had good jobs and worked for the city, worked for the state. And we worked harder on our homes, and it's unfair that they're pricing us out using unfair tactics of raising taxes, raising rates. A lot of people lost it in different ways, but the struggle is still the same. We're all still trying to strive for the same place, is to have a sense of community, be together, have a sense of being one. These meetings are to help us come back together and be one.
That's right.
Every Saturday these will happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whether Black Dot is here, whether anything is happening, we will come together on Saturdays evening to have community.
Right.
To bring that feeling back to our community.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want there to be this misunderstanding. This all has to be negative. This all has to be targeted to issues. We need to celebrate the women. We need to celebrate the fellas that come up here and put in work, make phone calls, talk to people, hand out coffee in the morning. We need to celebrate the fact that we're trying to bring a sense of community back to the Central District. We have a couple of different people that are going to come up and give their testimonials on what has happened to them, whereas they have been displaced in the central area, whether it be priced out, lied out, what have you. We're also going to have some students come up that have gone through the Emoji Peace Center that are now having positive, real changes on their lives, that have kind of pushed them in one direction or another when they could have made worse choices and been the problem of the crime issues that are happening here. We are also going to have some people just come up and tell, how you're connected to the community, why you're here, what brought you here, what pulled on your heart to make you a part of this movement today. And I'm asking all of you to stand together with us, support the petition that's going to go live later today, pass it out, share it, so that we can urge City Council to give Black Dot the pledge that they promised us. We'll also give all that information before we end today. Go out, and I encourage each and every one of you to talk to someone new that you don't necessarily know. Introduce yourself. Find out what you have in common. What's keeping us separated and what's keeping us off the same accord is that we're putting ourselves in these complexes like this and disconnecting from our community. We don't know one another. So reach out and find someone that you don't know, maybe that you see in the crowd. Get a name, get a number, have coffee with someone new. Speak to 10 people this week that you don't necessarily know. Make those connections.
That's what's up.